Hey, welcome back to the show, everyone. Today we are unpacking the numbers from a household name in India, Dabur India Limited. They've just released their results, and there's a lot to go through.
Absolutely. Dabur is a fascinating company. They are one of India's leading FMCG companies with a huge presence in Ayurveda and natural healthcare. We're talking about iconic brands like Dabur Chyawanprash, Dabur Honey, Dabur Amla, Vatika, and Real Fruit Juices. They've been around for over 140 years, so a rich legacy there.
Indeed. So it looks like Dabur has announced its audited financial results for the quarter and financial year ended March 31st, 2025. The board of directors approved these results in their meeting held on May 7th, 2025. We have the consolidated results, which give us the big picture, including all their subsidiaries, and also the standalone results, which focus on Dabur India's core operations. We'll be looking at both.
That's right. And we also have their press release and investor presentation from the same date, which should give us some more color on the performance.
Perfect. Let's kick things off with the top line, revenue from operations. How did Dabur fare in the fourth quarter of FY25 on a consolidated basis? Let's look at year over year and then quarter over quarter.
Okay, starting with the consolidated revenue from operations for Q4 FY25, Dabur reported 2,830.1 crore rupees. Year over year, this is a slight increase of about 0.6% from the 2,814.6 crore rupees they posted in Q4 FY24. Now looking at quarter-over-quarter performance, revenue is down from the 3,355.25 crore rupees they recorded in Q3 FY25. That's a sequential dip.
A marginal YoY growth, but a sequential decline in Q4. What about for the full financial year FY25 consolidated?
For the full financial year FY25, consolidated revenue stood at 12,563.1 crore rupees. This is up by 1.3% compared to 12,404 crore rupees in FY24. The press release also mentions a constant currency revenue growth of 2.1% for Q4 and 3.6% for the full year.
Got it. Now let's shift to the standalone revenue from operations. What are those numbers telling us for Q4 YoY and QoQ?
For Dabur's standalone revenue from operations in Q4 FY25, the figure is 1,964.71 crore rupees. Year over year, this is a decrease of about 3.7% from 2,039.46 crore rupees in Q4 FY24. Quarter over quarter, standalone revenue is also down from 2,448.26 crore rupees in Q3 FY25.
And the full year standalone revenue?
For the full year FY25, standalone revenue was 9,070.71 crore rupees, which is a slight decline of 0.7% from 9,135.60 crore rupees in FY24. So standalone performance seems a bit more challenged on the revenue front compared to consolidated.
Interesting divergence there. Now let's move to profitability. How does the EBITDA look? That's earnings before interest, taxes, depreciation, and amortization. Consolidated first for Q4.
Alright, for consolidated EBITDA, including other income in Q4 FY25, Dabur reported 568.1 crore rupees. Year over year, this is a decrease of about 4.6% from 595.7 crore rupees in Q4 FY24. For the quarter over quarter EBITDA, we don't have a directly comparable EBITDA, including other income figure for Q3 from the detailed results, but we can look at PBT for that.
Okay, we'll come to PBT. What about the full year consolidated EBITDA?
For the full year FY25, consolidated EBITDA including other income was 2,866.5 crore rupees, down slightly by 0.6% from 2,882.6 crore rupees in FY24.
And for standalone EBITDA, including other income in Q4?
On a standalone basis, EBITDA, including other income for Q4 FY25, was 402.8 crore rupees. Year over year, this is down by 10.6% from 450.8 crore rupees in Q4 FY24. Again, for QoQ, we'll refer to PBT.
And the full year standalone EBITDA?
Full year FY25 standalone EBITDA, including other income, stood at 2,158.8 crore rupees, a decrease of 4.3% from 2,256.7 crore rupees in FY24. So EBITDA pressure is visible both year over year for Q4 and for the full year, on both consolidated and standalone fronts.
Now, let's drill down to profit before tax or PBT. Consolidated Q4, YoY and QoQ.
Consolidated PBT for Q4 FY25 was 411.91 crore rupees. Year over year, this is down by 8.99% from 452.66 crore rupees in Q4 FY24. Quarter over quarter, PBT has decreased significantly from 657.58 crore rupees in Q3 FY25.
And full year consolidated PBT?
For the full year FY25, consolidated PBT was 2,257.89 crore rupees, a decline of 4.27% from 2,358.74 crore rupees in FY24.
Now for standalone PBT Q4 comparisons.
Standalone PBT for Q4 FY25 stood at 316.71 crore rupees. Year over year, this is down by 15.1% from 373.12 crore rupees in Q4 FY24. Quarter over quarter, standalone PBT also saw a sharp decline from 535.75 crore rupees in Q3 FY25.
And full year standalone PBT?
For FY25, standalone PBT was 1,808.34 crore rupees, down by 8.05% from 1,966.70 crore rupees in FY24. So PBT shows a more pronounced decline than revenue, especially on a standalone basis.
Okay, let's get to the bottom line. Profit after tax or PAT attributable to the owners. Consolidated Q4 YoY and QoQ.
Consolidated PAT attributable to owners for Q4 FY25 was 320.13 crore rupees. Year over year, this is down by 8.4% from 349.53 crore rupees in Q4 FY24. Quarter over quarter, PAT has fallen from 522.38 crore rupees in Q3 FY25.
And full year consolidated PAT?
For the full year FY25, consolidated PAT was 1,767.63 crore rupees, a decrease of 4.07% from 1,842.68 crore rupees in FY24.
Now for standalone PAT Q4 comparisons.
Standalone PAT for Q4 FY25 came in at 250.54 crore rupees. Year over year, this is down by 11.5% from 283.15 crore rupees in Q4 FY24. Quarter over quarter, standalone PAT also declined from 418.08 crore rupees in Q3 FY25.
And the full year standalone PAT?
For FY25, standalone PAT was 1,403.22 crore rupees, down by 7.02% from 1,509.21 crore rupees in FY24.
Let's quickly touch upon earnings per share or EPS. Consolidated first for Q4.
Consolidated basic EPS for Q4 FY25 was 1.81 rupees. Year over year, this is down from 1.97 rupees in Q4 FY24. Quarter over quarter, it's down from 2.95 rupees in Q3 FY25. For the full year FY25, consolidated basic EPS was 9.97 rupees compared to 10.40 rupees in FY24.
And standalone EPS for Q4?
Standalone basic EPS for Q4 FY25 stood at 1.41 rupees. Year over year, this is down from 1.60 rupees in Q4 FY24. Quarter over quarter, it declined from 2.36 rupees in Q3 FY25. For the full year FY25, standalone basic EPS was 7.92 rupees, down from 8.52 rupees in FY24.
It seems like a challenging quarter and year for profitability overall. What about other income? Was that a significant factor?
Yes, other income did play a role. On a consolidated basis for Q4 FY25, other income was 141.15 crore rupees. This is up YoY from 128.85 crore rupees and also up QoQ from 128.03 crore rupees. For the full year FY25, consolidated other income was 550.10 crore rupees, up from 482.41 crore rupees in FY24. On a standalone basis for Q4 FY25, other income was 118.55 crore rupees, up YoY from 114.18 crore rupees and up QoQ from 105.31 crore rupees. For the full year FY25, standalone other income was 451.94 crore rupees, up from 417.62 crore rupees in FY24. So other income has provided some cushion, growing both YoY and QoQ in the fourth quarter.
Thanks for that detailed breakdown. Now, looking at these numbers, what can we say about Dabur's profitability margins?
Okay, let's look at a couple of key margins. For consolidated Q4 FY25, the PAT margin was about 11.31%, and the EBITDA margin, including other income, was around 20.07%. For the full year FY25, the consolidated PAT margin was 14.07%, and the EBITDA margin was 22.81%. For standalone Q4 FY25, the PAT margin was higher at 12.75% and the EBITDA margin was 20.50%. For the full year FY25, the standalone PAT margin was 15.47% and the EBITDA margin was 23.79%. It's interesting to note that standalone margins are generally higher than consolidated margins, which might suggest that some of the consolidated entities or international operations have lower profitability profiles or are perhaps in investment phases.
Were there any significant exceptional items reported in these results that might have skewed the profits?
Looking through both the consolidated and standalone profit and loss statements, there are no exceptional items reported for Q4 FY25 or for the full financial year. This generally suggests that the profits we're seeing are from their regular business operations, giving us a cleaner view.
Good to know. Let's get a glimpse of the balance sheet. Any key highlights on assets, liabilities, or debt?
On the consolidated balance sheet as of March 31, 2025, total equity attributable to owners stands at approximately 10,800 crore rupees, up from about 9,866 crore rupees the previous year. Total outstanding debt, as per the additional disclosures, has reduced to 950.36 crore rupees, from 1,365.09 crore rupees year over year. On the standalone balance sheet, total equity is around 7,423 crore rupees, up from about 6,915 crore rupees. Standalone outstanding debt has also significantly reduced to 378.72 crore rupees from 775.96 crore rupees year over year. So we are seeing an increase in equity and a healthy reduction in debt on both fronts.
That debt reduction is a positive sign. What about cash flows and any news on dividends for shareholders?
From the consolidated cash flow statement for FY25, net cash flow from operating activities was robust at 1,986.75 crore rupees, slightly lower than the 2,013.47 crore rupees in FY24. Regarding dividends, the board has recommended a final dividend of 5.25 rupees per equity share for the financial year 2024-25. This, combined with the interim dividend of 2.75 rupees, takes the total dividend for the year to 8 rupees per share, which is an 800% payout on the face value of 1 rupee. The total dividend payout aggregates to 1,417.86 crore rupees.
A strong dividend payout. Now, Dabur has a diverse portfolio. Can you break down the performance of their different business segments on a consolidated basis for Q4?
Certainly, on a consolidated basis for Q4 FY25, the largest segment, Consumer Care Business, reported revenues of 2,254.98 crore rupees. This was a YoY growth of about 1.85%. Its profit before interest and tax, PBIT, for the quarter was 419.24 crore rupees. The food business segment saw revenues of 500.48 crore rupees, a year decline of about 5.16%. Its PBIT was 60.07 crore rupees. The retail business is much smaller, with revenues of 24.56 crore rupees, a YoY decline of 20.46%, and a PBIT of just 0.24 crore rupees. Other segments reported revenues of 39.81 crore rupees, a year growth of 25.14%, with a PBIT of 3.81 crore rupees. The investor presentation gives more detail on the domestic FMCG business verticals for Q4. Home and Personal Care, or HPC, revenue was 863 crore rupees, a decline of 3.3% year-over-year. Healthcare revenue was 536 crore rupees, a decline of 4.7% year-over-year. Within the foods and beverages domestic business, the core foods part, excluding Badshah, showed a strong growth of 14.2% year-over-year to 37 crore rupees. The press release highlights this specific part. Beverages revenue was 352 crore rupees, a decline of 9.2% YoY. Badshah Masala, which they acquired, reported a value growth of around 6% in Q4. So there's a mixed bag within the domestic segments.
What about their international business? That's usually a key growth driver.
Yes, the international business continues to be a strong performer. For Q4 FY25, it reported revenues of 814 crore rupees, showing a constant currency growth of 19.3%. For the full year FY25, international business revenue was 3,281 crore rupees, with a constant currency growth of 17.2%. It contributed around 29% to overall sales in Q4. Key markets like Egypt, Bangladesh, and Turkey showed strong double-digit constant currency growth.
Good to see international business holding up. And quickly, the main segments on a standalone basis.
On a standalone basis for Q4 FY25, consumer care business revenue was 1,525.74 crore rupees. Food business revenue was 392.04 crore rupees. And other segments revenue was 39.81 crore rupees. The standalone segment PBIT figures are not as readily broken down in the summary, but generally follow the consolidated trend of consumer care being the largest profit contributor.
So, summarizing the performance, how would you characterize FY25 for Dabur considering both consolidated and standalone numbers?
FY25 was a year of muted growth on the top line for Dabur, with consolidated revenue up just 1.3% and standalone revenue slightly down. Profitability, whether you look at EBITDA, PBT, or PAT, saw declines across the board for both Q4 and the full year on both consolidated and standalone levels. The company mentioned in its press release that the FMCG demand trends remained subdued, and they faced challenges like high food inflation impacting urban spending. However, the international business provided a significant cushion and growth impetus. The reduction in debt is a positive, and the dividend payout remains strong.
Are there any significant notes from the management or strategic updates we should be aware of?
Yes, the management highlighted market share gains across 90% of its portfolio. They are focusing on strengthening their rural footprint and rolling out consumer-centric innovations. Their refreshed vision aims to accelerate profitable growth through continued investment in core brands, premiumization, a focus on health and wellness spaces, streamlining their portfolio, optimizing their go-to-market strategy or GTM 2.0, and considering strategic M&A. The press release also mentioned specific category growths in Q4. The foods business, the specific part, grew over 14%, skin and salon by 8%, and Badshah portfolio saw around 11% volume growth. Also a small note, Dabur UK Trading Limited became a step-down wholly owned subsidiary after March 31, 2025. And the company has fixed August 7, 2025 for its 50th annual general meeting.
Now a very crucial part, the auditor's report. What did G. Basso and company have to say about these financials? Any qualifications or concerns?
This is always important. For both the consolidated and standalone financial results for the quarter and year ended March 31, 2025, the statutory auditors G. Basu and Company have issued an unmodified opinion. This means that in their opinion, the financial statements give a true and fair view and are prepared in all material respects in accordance with the applicable accounting standards. The cover letter for the results explicitly confirms this unmodified opinion. There were no qualifications, adverse opinions, or emphasis of matter paragraphs highlighted for either set of results.
An unmodified opinion is certainly reassuring for investors. So looking ahead, what's the outlook for Dabur and what are the potential risks?
Dabur's management expects consumer demand in India to recover progressively in the coming quarters, both in urban and rural markets. The strong international business should continue to help navigate the complex external environment. Key drivers will be their focus on innovation, rural expansion, and premiumization. Potential risks include the ongoing subdued demand environment, high food inflation, and competitive intensity in the FMCG sector. And of course, the standard disclaimer: we advise investors to check with certified experts before making any investment decisions.
Great. So to wrap up our discussion on Dabur's Q4 and FY25 results.
To summarize, Dabur India faced a challenging environment in FY25, reflected in muted top-line growth and a decline in profitability for both Q4 and the full year across consolidated and standalone operations. However, the international business showed strong resilience and growth. The company is taking strategic steps to rejuvenate growth, has maintained a strong dividend payout, and significantly reduced its debt. The unmodified opinion from the auditors on both consolidated and standalone financials provides a degree of comfort regarding the reported numbers. The key will be to watch for a recovery in domestic demand and the successful execution of their strategic initiatives.
Excellent analysis as always. A lot for our listeners to think about. That's all the time we have for today. Thanks for tuning in.
Thanks, everyone.